What's up, brothers? Hope everyone's doing well out there. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday afternoon. I wanted to come out here and have a talk with you guys about a subject that I see a lot of guys obsessing over. It's not something that I particularly care about, but I wanted to have this conversation with you guys and give you a little bit of game. But what I want to talk about is sexual market value and why this whole concept is completely useless for probably 99% of guys and women as well. So, sexual market value is a concept that your value in the dating market is based off of your looks, your money, and your status. And for women, it's youth and beauty. And sure, that makes sense. Like your sexual market value makes sense. But here's the thing. People aren't really grading you on your sexual market value. You can have high sexual market value or low sexual market value. But having high sexual market value just means you're a good opportunity. You know, it doesn't mean that you're going to get what you want. Because typically what guys want, or what anyone wants, is usually one of these two things. They either want to get laid more, or they want a relationship, a marriage. Sexual market value does not get you laid, and sexual market value does not create healthy relationships. It does neither one of those. If getting laid is what you want to accomplish, you need to have sex appeal, and that's completely different than sexual market value. If getting a relationship, starting a family is what you want, relationship skills, or we could say dating potential, relationship potential, I should say, is what you need to prioritize. Now, what is sex appeal? I want to give you an example. Okay, when you look at Ben Affleck has high sexual market value. He's got the look, he's got the money, he's got the status. But somebody with sex appeal, and this isn't quite understood by me or anybody, but an example of that would be Pete Davidson, right? It's awkward. It seems weird, right? It doesn't really make sense. You know, he's not as good looking, doesn't have as much money, doesn't have as much status, but he has 1,000,000 times more sex appeal. And that's because looks, money, and status don't generate sex appeal. What generates sex appeal is, I would describe it as kind of a wild energy, a wild and fun to be around energy. You know, a non-judgmental, wild, fun, crazy, adventurous type of energy. And that's what women want to sleep with. Of course, your looks matter. I'm not saying they don't, but sex appeal and sexual market value come from two completely different places. You got to understand that. You know, you see this happen time and time again. There's some dude with low as fuck sexual market value who's sleeping on a lady's couch. You know, he needs a place to stay. She's always going to welcome him in because he has sex appeal. You know, he goes to jail, she's going to show up to bail him out. And I shouldn't say she's going to make him sleep on the couch. I just mean, you know, she'll let him stay the night. You know, the guy with high sexual market value, she expects for him to take care of himself. Right? So the sex appeal is something totally different. Sex appeal makes a lady want to sleep with you, want to be with you. She's not thinking about sexual market value when she's in the shower. She's thinking about sex appeal. Okay, that's the difference. Now, I don't think we have to go into too much detail about how to have sex appeal. You know, it's how you communicate. You know, it's more of a fun, playful, and smooth kind of way. Now, if it's a relationship that you're looking for, sexual market value will make you an opportunity so women can take advantage of you. But it's not going to make them actually like you and want to be with you. What's going to create that is, your dating potential. Are you able to connect with them, communicate with them? Are you the type of guy that women want to be in a relationship with? Everywhere you go, you see this taking place, right? You see a very average couple, lower middle class, average looking, happily married with kids. You see it everywhere. And it's not looks, money, and status. It's not sexual market value that made that happen. It's a willingness to get together and work together. It's an understanding that, especially as a man, you need to push away the bad women and welcome in the good women. Out with the bad, in with the good. Everywhere you go, you see bad women and you see good women. Where'd you go? Maybe you went to the gym this morning. You saw a good woman in there. There might have been 20 women in there. You saw one good woman. If you're a single man and you want a relationship, did you welcome her into your life? Did you push away the whores and welcome in the good one? Did you invite her out to dinner? It's not your sexual market value that's going to make that happen. That'll attract the narcissists, the opportunists. But the good women, it's up to you to welcome them into your life and bring them in. Because ultimately, you don't want a woman using you for your looks, money, and status. You want a woman that is going to show up in the hospital if you're in there. And likewise, you'll show up to the hospital if she's there. Show up worried, concerned, supportive, by their side. Making sure they're okay until they get out. That's the type of relationship that you want. I went to church this morning, and one of the verses that was read that kind of inspired me to make this video was, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's 2 Timothy 3:2. Starts out, men will be lovers of themselves. And that's what looks, money, and status is about. The guys that are hyper-focused on sexual market value, they want to be worshipped and admired for the way they look, the amount of money they have, their status. They want society to worship them and admire them. You shouldn't be a lover of yourself. That's not a good idea. Instead, you should love yourself. Okay? Like I said, I went to church. I believe in God. And I believe that God gave me this body. He gave me this vessel. I am who I am, with all of its flaws. And I appreciate the fact that I got it, because it's the only one I'm ever going to have. So I love myself, even with all of my flaws. But I'm not a lover of myself. I don't worship myself. I accept myself with all the flaws. Somebody that has high self-esteem, that, I think somebody that has the right intentions will feel that way about themselves. But somebody that's a lover of themselves, well, when the looks start to fade, that's the type of person that will do anything they can, plastic surgery or whatever, to try to stay looking good, or their self-esteem is going to drop. If they don't have money, their self-worth is gone. If they don't have status, they feel like a loser because people aren't admiring them all the time. It's not a good way to live. It's a pretty weak way of living. I don't suggest that you do that. But it's always a good idea to advance in your career, to work on your physique, stay healthy. Making money is not a bad thing. But when you're leaning on that, when that's where your self-esteem is coming from, you're in trouble. Because when that stuff slips, so does your self-worth, so does your self-confidence. When you love yourself when you have nothing, when you have all the flaws. And that's the way you should be. Treat yourself like you're somebody that you care about. And look, if getting laid is your option, I think that's a low bar. If getting laid is your goal, I think that's a low bar. But whatever. I'm not here to judge, to each their own. Sexual market value isn't what makes that happen. Sex appeal is. And if having a relationship is what matters, you need to meet yourself a woman that cherishes you and that you cherish and that's willing to work with you. And if she's not, out with the bad, in with the good. You know, you don't have time to waste. But hey guys, I won't ramble anymore. I just wanted to come in here and talk about this subject. Looks, money, and status, and sexual market value. Explain why you shouldn't lean on it. You know, for multiple reasons. But at the end of the day, this is just advice. If you don't want to take it, don't take it. But if it was informative, then good, I did my job. But that's about it for today, guys. Until next time, see ya.